has dealt
Yes, sir.
its measure of he has thrown its own measure of challenge my way, like everybody else. There is nobody who has been on the other side of success, never been on this side of failure. For every success, there are 10 failures.
Yes, sir.
But people don't see the failure. They only celebrate the success.
That's right.
You know, so every successful person has been through avalanche of failures, you know, and it starts with a vision. When you know, when you have a vision for something, when you have it in your mind, you can see your mind in the eyes of your mind, knowing that this is how I want it to be. It pushes you. You wake up in the morning, you know that I am going to this work not because I'm getting a salary or not because I'm making ends, but because there's a vision.
My question is this. I said, over the years, now the central focus of this book has been on the premise that there is nothing that you face in life. There is no challenge, there is no situation that anybody can face that you cannot overcome. There's nothing that, you know, comes your way that you cannot actually really deal with and get over. And that's why I've actually get in touch with those who have actually gone through a lot of things, and they have success stories. They are success. They've achieved a lot, because oftentimes when people look at someone like you and all those other people who are actually doing great things, they feel, well, everything has been rosy for these guys. Everything is just cool and everything like that. So what has been your side, your view? Have you actually experienced anything at all that, you know, feels like, oh, I need to just drop this thing, but you've got over it, you've overcome, and now you are where you are right now? Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, man of God, Pastor PD. Your life has dealt its measure of he has thrown its own measure of challenge my way, like everybody else. There is nobody who has been on the other side of success, never been on this side of failure. I said earlier that I've read a lot of books, and one of the books that I am reading, and I read and I'm still reading, it speaks about failing forward. You know, failing forward, which is the fact that for every success there are 10 failures.
Yes, sir.
But people don't see the failure. They only celebrate the success.
That's right.
People is to not focus on the failure, because like Yoruba will say, always people don't care. Don't care the hurdles. People don't care about the pain.
Yes, sir.
But
true.
Celebrate the success. For every award that have been hundreds of attempts that didn't work. You know what I mean? You know, so every successful person has been through avalanche of failures, you know, and people, they only see Apple computer, they only see Bill Gates, but no, behind that, you know, at the back of that, there were so many attempts that didn't work. There's so many computers that they tried that didn't work, but because they didn't give up, at least resilient spirit, they kept on at it, because they, you know, it starts with a vision. When you know, when you have a vision for something, when you have it in your mind, you can see your mind in the eyes of your mind, knowing that this is how I want it to be. It pushes you. You wake up in the morning, you know that I am going to this work not because I'm getting a salary or not because I'm making ends, but because there's a vision. And when there is
Yes,
no
sir.
vision, you know, people then don't know what they're doing for. And hence, even though they
Yes,
might
sir.
have money, they will not be happy. A lot of
I hear you, sir.
people do what they do, they make money, but some of them are not happy at what they are doing. And they're asking themselves, but why
That's
do I
right.
have this place? Because it is not it's not where their heart is. So for that thing of, we tried so many. I mean, when I came to South Africa in 2002, like I mentioned, and people couldn't hear that. When I came here in
Yes, sir.
2002, there were no
Yes, sir.
for me. There were nobody to go learn from or to go ask questions. How did you make it? What did you do? South Africa was a hostile country for me in 2002. There were no musicians,
Wow.
Nigerians. There were
Wow.
lecturers. There were business people. You know, there were pastors and all of that, but there were no musicians. You know,
Yes, sir.
okay, this person is working with this big name in South Africa. How did you do it? So I had
Yes,
to
sir.
find my path. You know, I had to you know, cross the hurdle. And thank God, because I was in Christ at the time, and God kind of just helped me, because the only way to surviving and to making it is in God. And even for people,
Amen.
there's a force behind every successful story, you know, and
That's right.
people call it some other name, but I know it is God. You know,
It's God. Yes, sir.
Christ in me, the hope of glory. You know what I mean? So
Hallelujah.
that, you know, and because I never came out, I've never called myself a gospel artist, even though I do, even though I went to Bible school, even though I'm ordained as a pastor, you know, and all those things. But
yes, sir.
I don't call myself a gospel artist because I operate beyond the realms of church. You know, I minister in clubs, I minister in jazz festivals, I minister at birthday parties and all of that. I call it minister because when people come, you know, after my event, after my show, people will always come and tell me, even though I was, you know, singing a popular secular song, but there's just a spirit behind that song that people go, they come and ask me, what was that? I don't know what it was, but it touched me. I loved it. You know what I mean? So my field of operation is in the, I'm not called to the church per se. You know what I mean? And the church have a problem with that. They think that you must only operate in the realms of church, and that is not true. You know, there are accountants who are pastors who work in the brewery. You know, are you work in a brewery, or are you saying they shouldn't work for a great manufacturing company? No, that is their place of call, and where they are, they influence the area, they influence their place of work. So my duty as a musician, you know, who plays jazz and entertain people, is to let them see that yes, I am doing what I'm doing, but there is a spirit, which is the spirit of Christ in me, that brings that thing in. So, I mean, to answer the question of have I been through stuff? Yes. The of success is failure, and you get hundreds before you get one success sometimes. So everybody has been through failing, through falling, through, you know, trying it again and trying different things, and until it works. Until it works.
Yes, sir. Awesome. I think you've just preempted one of my questions that I actually want to really ask you, and you've touched on that. Let me just get right there, because I touched on that also in my book, because like I put that in my book, I grew up thinking everything that I have to become, it's in church. Everything that I have to become, or that I have to really get, I have to get it within the context of the church. And so I was not really exposed to teachings like you've got potentials on the inside. You can actually look on the inside, because God created you with all these wonderful abilities and skills that you can use to make things happen. So, and that, you know, with that, we are limited today, because we feel the gospel or the kingdom is within the four corner walls of the church. You know, I mentioned in my book that there are so many people that are behind the pulpits today that they don't have business being there. They're supposed to be giants in media, in education, in politics, in other fields of our societal, you know, sociological construct. But because of our religiosity and our understanding of how, you know, the kingdom should be, We are limited, and you've actually touched on that. I feel you can actually like elaborate on that, because now we're still dealing with that today, really, because
Okay.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, when Jesus came,
Yes, sir.
there were the four walls of religion, the
Yes,
Sadducees
sir.
and the Pharisees, and Jesus kind of pointed it to them to say, guys, you are playing church, but you are not living the life that God. And they will call
Yes, sir.
him a wine bibber, you know, somebody who with people who are drinking wine and all of that. At the marriage
Yes, sir.
feast, first miracle was turning water
Yes,
to
sir.
wine. It is not to say that people drink wine, but it's not to say that people shouldn't drink wine. That is not the point. The point is,
yes, sir.
are you influencing your immediate environment? Even the people in church. Are you
Yes, sir. I
influencing
hear you, sir.
in your immediate environment? How much more the people
Environment.
outward there? Outside there. What is your gain in trying to be religious? Because I face that where people will say to me that, you're supposed to be a gospel artist, Pastor Kulayo. You're supposed to come to church. And I'm like, how many pastors are we going to have in a church sitting in a service?
Come on now. Come on now.
Or God is called to sinners out there and to let our light so shine that the world will
shine
see,
out there.
That the
Come
world
on
will,
now.
How many, I'm sorry to say, but how many sinners are on the pulpits, if not for grace? You know, who stand on the altar, on the pew, and preach, who
yes,
at
sir.
the end of the day, corners, we know what we're doing that, you know, doesn't make God proud.
Yeah,
so
true, sir.
do I need
True,
to live in that environment of where I'm not free to do what I am doing, to be able to influence people for God? And that is
influence people.
Yes, because that is essence of Christianity.
That's,
you know, I must be able to influence you to see that we serve a God who will take you as you are.
That's right.
It is the Holy Spirit that
I mean,
at the price of peaches.
That is it. Sure.
You know what I mean? It's not
yes, sir.
that I hear on Sunday that will change me. It is when I go into my closet and I pray and say, God,
yes, sir.
There's an area of my life that I'm not happy with. Help me to. It comes and empowers you. It allows you to
yes,
let go of the drinking, let go of the smoking, let go of the other things that you do. But it is not the job of to try to change somebody. Just
change somebody.
You do. So people.
Wow.
You know, I mean, on Sunday, on Saturday, we had a program, and one pastor was saying that politics should be where Christians should dominate the more, because that is where we can
exactly
the economy.
Exactly.
We shy away from it. So much potential.
Yes, sir.
But we are not using it
so much.
We are all
never.
I don't even want to talk about the issue of the church, because we are getting it wrong, honestly.
I understand. I understand the sentiment. Actually, for me, it has been a burden. It has been a burden, and I just thought one of the things I have to do to really make sure I put out this burden is to put it in writing, that if anybody gets hold of that and is able to read, maybe we can begin to have a different mentality, because there is a difference between church and the kingdom.
Yes.
We do church today. We don't do kingdom, because kingdom is bigger than the church. And that's the understanding that we need to really come into, that you can be a pastor in the marketplace, you can be a pastor in the politics, education, and in other things. I just feel that God will help us to really change, especially for the next generation, because we cannot handle or hand over religion or religiosity to our next generation. It's not going to work. All right. Thank you for that. I mean, it's really impactful already. Now, like I said, quickly, the other question I asked is that watching you play. Now, let's get back to you. Watching you play, for me, it's just desirable. I mean, for me, it's beyond even your playing, even though that in itself is sublime. I mean, but there is this atmosphere you carry. There is this, especially the smile on your face. When you put on that smile, I mean, you're going to even forget that you are sitting wherever you are. You're just going to be fixed on this man that is just playing. What is your why? What is your inspiration? What has been? Why do you play the way you play and with such smile on your face, and you don't even care who is watching, what anybody is doing?
All right, thank you very much for the question. The thing is, for me, I said earlier, before people could hear us, I said that my ministry is like Paul to the Gentiles. So I'm able to go out there and do what I do. And because of the passion I have for the music that I play.
Come on now.
It is a gift that God has given that needs to grow, needs to influence somebody, needs to touch somebody. I believe that I have so many guitar players today who come up to me and say, "Bros, thank you so much. It was because of you that I picked up the guitar," and they're doing so well in different industry.
Wow.
So for me, it gives a great joy because I'm not doing it because I want you to say I do well. No, I am doing it because I love it. It's from my heart. I'm passionate about it.
Come on now.
That, God can minister to somebody even outside of church, even in your your daily work in the office, how you greet people, how you are kind, you are nice to them.
Yes, sir.
It can bring them to God. So when I do what I do, I do it with that consciousness, that knowledge of the fact that I would say whatever you do it as unto the Lord. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
when
sir.
When I work with great names, the Chief Ebenezer Obeys, the Lagbajas, and all these people, I did from my heart, and people saw that. And years later, when I started doing my thing, people still see that because it wasn't pretentious. I wasn't doing it because I wanted Lagbaja to be happy, or I wanted Chief Ebenezer Obey to be happy. No, I was doing it because I love it. It is what
you love it.
It's me.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? So
awesome.
Tomorrow, when I'm 90 and I still carry that guitar and I'm playing and I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm dancing, you will still see that passion because it comes from a genuine place. And I believe it is what I do. I do all things through Christ that strengthens me. You know what I mean? So,
hallelujah.
I believe that we need to do what we do with passion and with love.
With passion.
Because I don't play to the people. I play with the people because we are in this together. We're trying to make a beautiful melody. Whatever the song is, a beautiful melody in appreciation of who we are as a people, and just celebrating life, celebrating the giver of life. You know what I mean? So that's why I do what I do, and I'm grateful that it gives God the glory at the end of the day.
Yeah, awesome. I could still recall the first time I saw you minister. I was like, wow, this man of God is beyond this world. And you've actually touched on the very important point, sir, because I've seen a lot of people, they are frustrated today. A lot of people, every day they live very sad, depressed. And if you check properly, you will see that people they go to they go to work, they do their jobs, but they are not happy. In their marriages and whatever they do, they are not really, they're just doing it for the money. And it's very important for people to know that when you find your passion, when you find that ability, that what resonates with you, that is when life is best. Even when you're not paid for it, what is it that you can do and do with such passion, with such joy, even if you're not paid for it, even if you're not rewarded for it, even if nobody says, "Oh, that was good," or "That was great." That is what we are talking about. And thank you for that, because you are spot on right there. And just like you said, till 90, you're still going to be doing this. And I look forward to see you and see that smile again and again. All right. Now, another important point is, what can we do as a church? Because, the administration is for to the people and then to the world. I feel we can influence the church and change our understanding. We can go out there and also influence our world, like you said. What can we do in terms of maximizing or giving room for the generations to come, but the younger ones, to make sure they discover their talent, their giftings, their abilities. Just like you said, there are so many people that have actually risen up today in the area of guitar, playing the guitar, and it has been through you. What can we do as a church to really improve this this subject, to make sure, because now the problem of unemployment is increasing in the world, especially with this pandemic. The problem of job and everything, the poverty is on the rise. But you can actually look within yourself and actually make something happen for yourself. So what can we do to really encourage that, sir?
All right, my opinion is that I must commend Pastor Chris Oyakilome for the way he has shown music ministers that they can live on music and be comfortable. Not just comfortable, they can become millionaires. We have seen all the artists that came out of Christ Embassy: Frank Edward, Sinach, Ben, Eben, all these great musicians who are still there, and they're loyal because the pastors allowed them to be and to do what they love to do the way that they love to do it. So I would encourage us to allow their members to also be able to showcase talent. If you don't give them this, they will find the space out there. They will go and play for there and Davido, and then you guys are yes, you guys are the same. Will now come and reprimand.
As though you are playing worldly music,
because you're not allowing them to express themselves. And
that's right.
Music is music. The only difference is the message. And what is key message. So with my jazz, my music is always positive. I don't say Jesus, Jesus. I say I'm not a gospel artist. My message, it is positive. Encouraging people to say that you can.
Yeah.
So they will still be able to do what they do. Yes. So I think if pastors will allow their music ministers to blossom in the periphery of the church and allow people to blossom and to encourage them. And Pastor Esco was one person that God bless his soul. I mean, he was my pastor in the City of David when I was working with all the great names, Nathaniel Bassi, Pastor Tony Zeno, all the great musicians. Mike Ebere was our bass player and also played drums. He encouraged everyone to be. I mean, look at what Pastor Nathaniel is doing today. It is because Pastor although he kind of refrained us a little bit to say, guys, let it be gospel, let it be gospel. But people have taken over to see that, okay, these are the good things that people like Pastor Esco did, and these were the things that right. And we're able to correct that. Pastor Iden in the City of David today is allowing people like Beckers and Bukola Beckers to be able to shine, in the world. They're able to become around the churches and live on gospel music and are doing well. So it is great. If pastors would allow their members to blossom, it would be a better thing for them.
Wow. All right. So just to round up the program, one last question, sir, is that what's your vision in the next few years, sir? I know you've talked about being 90 and stuff like that. But you've just released another album. I know something else may be coming in the next few. What's your vision, and what has been the thing that is making you to keep calibrating, keep improving, keep just bringing up stuff?
All right. So for me, I think that I'm getting to that age where legacy is the watchword, where we're trying to then start bringing the younger ones together to kind of go through life in an easier way, so that they don't make the mistakes we made.
Awesome.
So that they don't need to make that mistake